All right, we are driving further south in Peru. What an adventure. I keep saying this. It's like every day there's something, you know, Kathy getting hurt, George's van breaking down, and we've just spent the last 2 hours driving on some of the worst old paved road that is totally decayed. It's more dirt than paved, but you still have big chunks of asphalt in there, and it's constant potholes. All the potholes are really deep, and they're really hard with sharp edges, so it's just really intense. That was Highway 3N, and now we've just jumped down here. We're at 826, and we're gonna go down on the west side, going south, and making our way to the Cordillera Blanca.
Si no puedes decir sí, ¿quién puede decidir? Sin rodeos dice simplemente soy así. Si no nos lo notificas, el silencio sigue ahí. No simules ser sincero, reconoce, solo di que sí. No puedes decir sí, siquiera di que no. Si nos dices no conoceremos que es que no. Si no nos lo notificas, el silencio sigue ahí.
All right, we're at 13,500 feet. We're finally getting up here into the mountains. And we just came around the corner and there was a whole herd of maybe 60 llamas. Very cool. Very much what I expected to see in Peru. We are camped right on the edge of this lake. There's big granite peaks sticking up. It is beautiful out here. I'm out here with my still camera doing some landscape photography, just enjoying this evening. But we're at 13,500 feet. I think we're considered in the foothills maybe of the Cordillera Blanca. Look at this place. This is just gorgeous. And we are in a wild camp tonight. We are not in a plaza of a little village. We are out here in the middle of nowhere, camped for free in a beautiful environment. And that's how I like it the most. We are at 13,500 feet. It is a little difficult to breathe. We've, I think, gotten some good acclimatization over the last time in Ecuador and now in Peru, but the air still feels a little thin up here. We've got to get over that. Just a couple of days from now, we're going to be consistently at higher altitudes, and we got to get our lungs and heart ready for that. Just doing normal things around camp, just standing here talking to the camera, to you guys, I feel it. It is thin air up here, but you know, all it takes to get acclimatized is time at that elevation, drinking plenty of water, staying hydrated, and after a few days or a week, we should feel pretty good at this altitude. But it's a beautiful evening up here. We're right here on this lake. It is gorgeous, and I think I'm gonna take off with my camera here and try to make some still pictures. Check out my Instagram. You can see those kind of images there. I love sharing that stuff with you guys, so check it out. Give me a follow if you like what you see. It's gonna be a beautiful evening up here, so I'm gonna take it in. All right, more fun to share with you guys tomorrow. right, another adventurous day in Peru. We made it to the town of Angasmarca. It's a little village here that we just found it for my overlander. It had a place that possibly we could camp. It's right down here in this little park. Used to be a gravel lot. The community has put a lot of effort into it. They've made it nice. It's kind of like a little picnic area. We thought for sure we wouldn't be allowed to camp there, but we pulled in and there was a couple of women and a man working there in the park doing things, and we just asked, was it all right if we spent the night here? I said, sure, we'd love it. So the guy proceeded to do selfies with us. It was really fun, and this is gonna be a great place for us to spend the night. Now I'm doing this hike up the mountain here. It goes up just a short little ways, and I'm just gonna go check it out. It's right on the edge of this cliff, which looks really cool as well. Good little stop. I think this is gonna be great for the night. All right, this hike goes much further than I thought it was. Gotta breathe. We're still at 10,000+ feet. It's got these nice steps, but it's still very steep, and the view so far is spectacular. Can't wait to see where this thing is actually taking me. So I bet it's somewhere pretty amazing. Check out the view from up here. This is beautiful. What a cool little hike, and it's so great. This is right within striking distance of where we parked the van. I could just walk over here and have this little mini adventure. That felt good to get out and go for a little hike after a pretty long day driving. I'm heading back to the van now. We're gonna get some dinner and work on bringing the next video to you guys. And tomorrow, we keep pushing south. All right, we're on Peruvian Highway 3N. And it's been really interesting because this has been a pretty rough dirt road with a lot of washboard and just dust. It's funny, we roll into these little villages and it turns into really nice concrete streets that are clean and beautiful, and we keep thinking like, oh wow, that's the end of the dirt road, and then we come around the corner as we're leaving the village and it goes back to really rough dirt road. Then we come around a corner and there's these beautiful paved switchbacks. Now the weird thing is like every third corner goes back to being one lane dirt with like rock slides coming down it. Then the rest of it is just this beautiful new asphalt that's so smooth. The thing we're learning about Peru is as soon as you think the roads are better, they get worse. It's keeping us on our toes, and it is interesting. We never know what's coming next in Peru. This place is just full of variety. Luckily, I like variety. All right, we've made it to Cabána, Peru. We are at this cool square here. There's a lot going on. Everybody's out enjoying the evening. The sun has just set. We've had a pretty epic drive to get here. Highway 3N is no joke. The half of it today was under construction. The other half of it needed to be under construction. But we had a very adventurous drive. We saw some cool stuff. We drove up and down some very steep mountains into some deep valleys. Tonight, we've gotten permission from the locals to spend the night right here in the square. Normally it's no parking and they don't allow you to even stop there. But we got here and these nice couple of guys came up to tell us we couldn't park there. We started talking and they said, "Oh, you're turistas. You can stay here if you want." So that was really cool. We felt very welcome here. This is a cool village and I'm looking forward to exploring it a little more. These little villages are just so rich with things to explore. I'm just walking around and just everywhere you look, there's something interesting. I love the alleys, I love the old paint, I love the storefronts, the door handles, the locks. There's so much detail to see here. You look across the valley and you have these giant mountains. The sun has just set, the light is beautiful through here, and it's some fun exploring. Buenas tardes. All right, yesterday Jorge started getting an indicator on his dashboard that he had a tire that was going low. And we kept stopping and putting air in it. Luckily we have our ARB onboard air compressors, but it allowed us to finish the day off after 3 or 4 stops airing it up to get him on into this town of Cabána. Now I came out this morning just to check on Jorge and see what our plan for the day was. And honestly, I'd forgotten he had a flat tire. He's out here changing it in the gutter on the plaza here, which is a cool spot. But Jorge now has his spare on his left rear and we're gonna keep trucking. We are gonna need to find somewhere that can maybe patch this tire or pick up another tire. It's good to be prepared, Boy Scout motto.
Okay, so the worst part of this entire chore is putting this Trasharoo back on.
Oh, look at that thing.
It's like pig pen. All right, here goes.
So name these things a Dustaroos.
Dusteroo.
So if you guys have never installed a Trasharoo on your rear tire, it's kind of a booger to get them on there and get them squared up and centered and high and tight. It's kind of a little wrestling act. It takes 3 or 4 times to really figure out how to do it well. Well, thank you, Cabána. This has been a wonderful stop. Cool little village, but we're back on to the dusty, dirty 3N, going south. What a drive. I'm so glad we came this way. Here's a really good example of a Peruvian roadside restaurant.
I thought I was getting like chicken fried rice, but I got chicken and rice and beans. Every day is a new adventure. I woke up this morning and just tested my foot, putting some body weight on it, and it felt surprisingly good. I didn't have any pain. So I put on a brace, and I've been walking around today for the first time in 12 days. I felt like a captive in the van being off my foot for 12 days, but today it's a whole new world out here. My lunch was good. I thought my lunch was going to be different than it is, but it turned out okay.
All right, we're in a different canyon now. It's bigger, and the road has gotten terrible again. It's like old paved road that's mostly missing, like 80% of the asphalt's missing, but it just makes all the potholes that are here that hard and reinforced, and they have like a sharp edge on them. So when your tires hit it, it slams you even harder. But it is beautiful back in here. We are getting a little tired of just getting beat up on these dirt roads, but for me, the scenery is totally worth it. It is so beautiful back in here. Okay, so we just went through a little toll booth, if you will. There's just a man and a woman there. They don't work for the city. They're just doing this as their own job, but they're coming through here with a bucket and a shovel, and they're filling in the potholes. And then they put cones in the street to stop you, and he holds out a little bucket, and you put a coin or two in there to pay him for his time. And we've seen this all over Latin America, but man, this is a place where it really needs it, because this road has some terrible potholes. And actually, where I can see this guy's been working, it's much better. So, money well spent. What an awesome day exploring in Peru. We just drove the mighty 3N. I don't know, this road's gonna go down in infamy with me. I think it's been really hard, but it's also been really awesome. It's taken us to some great scenery and wonderful places. And now we're down here in this weird little park. It's got beautiful little rock edging around where you drive. It's right on the edge of the river. And supposedly we read in iOverlander this is a kayak either put in or take out to get into the river. Now, I don't know if there's any other kayakers in this area other than me. I'll be really glad to meet them if they show up. This is weird and this is really cool, but it's a very unlikely place for a park like this. It's basically just in the leftovers of this coal rubble. We're glad to have it tonight. It's going to be a great place to camp, great place to spend the night. I'm just loving the scenery, these desert canyons. That's my thing. So very cool. All right, we're going to check it out more and hopefully have a wonderful night camping here. All right, 3N, day 4 or 5, I don't know. We are definitely up here in the high Andes now. It is gorgeous. We are on these little tiny catwalky ledges that just traverse thousands of feet above these tight valleys below. The scenery is just getting better and better. I'm really loving Peru so far. This is what I signed up for. We just passed through this tunnel. There's another one behind it. In between the two is just a narrow ledge on about a 3,000 foot cliff. We are gonna go through many tunnels today, like this one behind me. They take these single lane roads, go through single lane tunnels, and connect these giant canyons. Now, before we get to these tunnels, we have to honk our horn, and we flip on our lights, and also say a little prayer, cross our fingers, and hope that one of these big trucks isn't coming through, because some of the tunnels you can't see all the way through, they curve, and you have no idea unless you hear the horn honk if anyone is coming from the other direction.
Let's get off this mountain so we don't fall down in the crevice.
What crevice?
Right down there.
What's it look like?
I don't know, I'm not looking.
Are you having fun?
Yeah.
It's pretty spectacular.
It's pretty wild, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's dry. It's definitely dry.
Rocky.
Very cool. No place like it on Earth other than here, right?
I don't know. We got to go everywhere and see.
Yeah, I guess so.
All right, let's keep going. And that's it for this episode. And until next time, I hope I see you somewhere over the horizon.
On the